What if the real luxury in today's world isn't faster Wi-Fi or the newest phone, but the silence you've forgotten? You're about to uncover the hidden cost of constant connection and the radical freedom of stepping away. This is Offline is the New Luxury by Gavin Stroud. A digital detox for your mind, your life, and your soul. Stay with me. This could change the way you live. Introduction. We live in a world where the ping of a notification outweighs the sound of silence. Our lives are constantly interrupted by buzzes, alerts, and endless scrolling. We check our phones before getting out of bed, answer emails at dinner, and scroll through social media to numb ourselves from boredom. Somewhere along the way, real presence, quiet moments, and meaningful connection got lost in the noise. In Offline is the New Luxury. I invite you to take a step back, not to escape technology, but to rediscover yourself outside of it. The truth is, being constantly connected is not just a habit. It's become a way of life that's quietly eroding our mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical well-being. We are overstimulated, overwhelmed, and ironically, more disconnected from ourselves and each other than ever before. This book isn't about throwing your phone in the ocean or deleting every app. It's about understanding how digital saturation affects our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships, and how even small, intentional moments of disconnection can lead to massive improvements in our quality of life. Disconnection is not regression, it's recovery. It's not anti-technology, it's pro-human. Inside these pages, we'll explore the hidden costs of living online, the science behind screen addiction, and the subtle but powerful ways our digital habits are shaping us. More importantly, we'll uncover what it means to truly unplug, slow down, and reclaim control of our time, attention, and peace of mind. Through stories, strategies, and practical exercises, you'll discover how to build a digital detox practice that fits your lifestyle. Without feeling like you're falling behind. By the end of this book, you'll have more than just awareness. You'll have a new mindset and a set of realistic tools to help you navigate the digital world with intention. Whether you're craving more quiet, deeper connection, better focus, or simply want to feel human again, this book is for you. Because in today's hyper-connected world, choosing to be present is the ultimate luxury. And you deserve that. Chapter 1. Welcome to the age of overstimulation. We didn't plan to live like this. No one signed up to have every moment of quiet invaded by glowing screens, buzzing alerts, and infinite feeds that never truly end. Yet, here we are, in the age of constant stimulation. From the moment we wake up to the time we collapse into bed, most of us are tethered to a device that demands our attention more than anything else in our lives. Rise of the always-on culture. Smartphones were once a convenience. Now they're an extension of our bodies. Social media platforms, news apps, and entertainment channels keep us constantly updated, yet perpetually distracted. The always-on culture rewards instant replies, late-night productivity, and staying looped into everything, everywhere, all the time. It's exhausting, but it's become our normal. The idea of boredom, stillness, or silence seems almost uncomfortable now. When was the last time you stood in line or waited at a red light without reaching for your phone? We've wired ourselves to be stimulated at all times, no matter how small the gap in activity. The comparison trap. Curated feeds versus real lives. One of the most damaging effects of this digital immersion is the constant exposure to curated realities. On social media, everyone's life looks shinier, more exciting, and somehow more together than ours. We compare our behind-the-scenes mess to someone else's highlight reel, and it leaves us feeling inadequate, anxious, or left out. We're chasing unattainable standards, not because we want to, but because we're constantly reminded we're not enough. The scroll never ends. And neither does the quiet erosion of self-worth it brings with it. The neurological toll, dopamine and distraction. What's happening in our brains is just as concerning. Every notification, like, or message triggers a release of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. This creates a loop. We check our phone, we get a hit of dopamine, and we come back for more. Over time, our brains adapt, craving more stimulation to feel the same reward. Focus becomes fragmented. Attention spans shrink. Deep thought feels harder to access. We're overstimulated but undernourished. Constant input doesn't equal deeper insight. It just keeps us busy. And busy isn't the same as fulfilled. A real-world snapshot. 9 hours of screen, 10 minutes of focus. Take Tyler, a 15-year-old high school student. He spends about 9 hours a day on screens, watching videos, chatting with friends, and switching between apps at lightning speed. But when it's time to focus in class or do homework, he struggles to last more than 10 minutes without getting restless or checking his phone. His teachers think he's lazy. His parents think he's unmotivated. The truth? His brain has been rewired to expect constant novelty. Deep focus feels foreign, even uncomfortable. Tyler isn't unique. He's one of millions caught in this overstimulated loop. Introducing digital clutter. Just like a messy room clouds your mind, a messy digital life clutters your mental space. Think of every notification, open tab, half-read article, and background app as a piece of digital clutter. It's the invisible noise we carry around, making it harder to think clearly, rest deeply, or just be present. Digital clutter isn't only about what's on your phone. It's about what your phone is doing to your brain. It scatters your attention, hijacks your energy, and creates a low-grade mental buzz that's hard to shake off. In this age of overstimulation, it's easy to feel like we're drowning in information, but starving for meaning. The first step in any detox is awareness. We need to recognize how our current habits are affecting us before we can begin to change them. Because the truth is, you're not broken. You're just wired for a different pace than the one your phone demands. The good news? You can take that pace back. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Connection and Addiction. We often think of technology as a tool, something we control, but the reality is more complicated. Tech companies design their products not just to serve us, but to keep us hooked. Understanding the psychology behind this addiction is key to reclaiming our freedom. How tech companies design for addiction. Every swipe, tap, and like on your phone has been carefully engineered to capture your attention. Features like infinite scroll, the endless feed of content that keeps loading as you scroll down, are designed to make it hard to stop. There's no natural pause or stopping cue, so you keep scrolling, consuming, and clicking. Notifications are another powerful hook. That tiny red badge or the ping of a message triggers an automatic reflex. Check now. Even if the notification isn't urgent, it creates a sense of urgency inside us. And likes or comments act like social approval tokens, making us crave more interaction, more validation. These design choices aren't accidental, they're intentional. Tech companies want you to spend as much time as possible on their platforms, because attention translates into advertising dollars. The variable reward loop, the Skinner box in your pocket. The addictive power of these platforms comes from what psychologists call the variable reward loop, borrowed from B.F. Skinner's famous experiments with rats in a Skinner box. Skinner found that when rewards are given unpredictably, sometimes present, sometimes absent, subjects become more motivated to keep trying. Social media works the same way. You never know when the next post will be amazing, or when someone will comment on your photo. This unpredictability makes checking your phone irresistible. It's not just about the reward, it's about the hope of the reward that keeps you coming back. FOMO and dopamine. why we can't resist checking. At the heart of this addiction is FOMO, the fear of missing out. When we're constantly connected, the worry that we're missing something important or exciting drives compulsive checking. Every time we glance at our screens, dopamine surges in our brain. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about anticipation. It makes us want to seek out more information, more updates, more connection. This creates a cycle where the phone isn't just a device. It becomes a source of comfort, escape, and sometimes a way to soothe anxiety. Smartphone separation anxiety. What happens when we're offline? Studies have shown that even brief separation from our phones can trigger real physiological stress. When people are asked to give up their phones for a few hours, cortisol levels, the hormone linked to stress, spike. Heart rates increase, and people report feeling anxious, restless, or disconnected. This smartphone separation anxiety is a modern phenomenon, a sign that many of us have become dependent on our devices not just for convenience, but for emotional stability. The phone has become a security blanket, a lifeline in an uncertain world. Real versus artificial connection, the irony of loneliness in a hyper-connected world. Perhaps the most painful irony is that despite being more connected than ever, many people feel deeply lonely. Online friendships, endless scrolling, and constant messaging can't replace face-to-face interaction, eye contact, or shared experiences. Artificial connection is often shallow and fragmented. We might have hundreds of friends online, but few deep relationships. This disconnect leaves a void, a craving for genuine human connection that no amount of likes or shares can fill. Understanding the psychology behind our digital habits helps us see that this isn't just about willpower, it's about rewiring our environment. The apps and devices are designed to keep us hooked, but recognizing the mechanisms at work gives us the power to step back, set boundaries, and find healthier ways to connect with ourselves and with others. Chapter 3. What we've lost while looking down. We live in a paradox. As our screens pull us in, something precious slips away. The more we look down at devices, the more we lose touch with each other, with ourselves, and with the simple, rich experience of life happening around us. The erosion of conversation and deep listening. Before smartphones ruled our attention, conversations had a rhythm. We listened, paused, and responded thoughtfully. Eye contact, body language, and silence were part of the dance. Now, many of our interactions are punctuated by glances at screens or distracted thoughts about the next. Notification. Deep listening, the kind that builds trust and understanding, is fading. We're often physically present, but mentally elsewhere, multitasking between the person in front of us and the digital world. This shallow engagement erodes relationships and leaves conversations feeling unsatisfying. The decline in creative thinking and boredom tolerance. Screens fill every idle moment with noise and entertainment, but that constant stimulation comes at a cost. Our brains are losing the ability to be bored, and boredom is essential. It's in those quiet moments without distraction that creativity sparks and new ideas form. When every pause is filled with scrolling or streaming, we lose the mental space needed for imagination and reflection. Kids and adults alike find it harder to daydream, solve problems, or simply sit with their thoughts. The magic of creativity fades behind a veil of constant input. Eye contact and empathy. How screen use affects emotional intelligence. Eye contact is a subtle but powerful form of communication. It builds empathy, conveys honesty, and helps us tune into others' emotions. Yet, with our gaze often fixed on screens, genuine eye contact is becoming rare. Research shows that heavy screen users may experience a decline in emotional intelligence, the ability to read and respond to social cues. The more time we spend online, the less skilled we become at understanding tone, facial expressions, and body language. This affects not just friendships, but also work relationships and family bonds, the loss of natural rhythms, sleep disruption, and overstimulation. Our relationship with screens doesn't end when we put our phones down. It affects our bodies in deeper ways. The blue light emitted from screens interferes with melatonin production, the hormone that regulates sleep. This disruption makes falling asleep harder and lowers sleep quality. Overstimulation from late-night scrolling or binge-watching keeps our nervous system on edge, making it difficult to relax. Sleep is foundational for mental health, focus, and emotional balance. But screen habits chip away at this vital rest. The missing moment, when real life goes unexperienced. There's a phrase that perfectly captures what's lost when we're absorbed by our devices. The missing moment. It's those little, ordinary experiences that slip by unnoticed because our attention is elsewhere. The smile of a stranger, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, or the taste of a meal. These moments don't make it into photos or posts, but they're where life truly happens. When we look down too often, we miss the fullness of these experiences, leaving us feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. Despite being connected online. Looking down at our devices might seem harmless, but it gradually chips away at the richness of human experience. Conversation loses depth, creativity dims, empathy fades, and the natural rhythms that sustain us get out of sync. The missing moments accumulate, leaving us starved for presence and meaning. The good news is these losses aren't permanent. By becoming aware of what we're missing, we can begin to reclaim those moments, step by step, through intentional time offline. In the next chapter, we'll explore how choosing to unplug can become a powerful form of resistance in a world that demands constant connection. Chapter 4. Offline as a form of resistance. In a world that prizes constant connectivity, choosing to unplug is, quite simply, an act of rebellion. When everyone else is glued to screens, stepping away from the digital noise becomes a radical way to reclaim your time, your mind, and your life. Offline is no longer just a choice. It's a statement. Unplugging. As rebellion in a digital-first society, we live in a digital-first society where being always available is the expectation. Work emails flood our inboxes at all hours. Social media demands immediate engagement, and entertainment streams endlessly. To unplug is to say no to this relentless pressure. It's pushing back against a culture that equates busyness with success and presence with productivity. When you decide to go offline, you're challenging the norm. You're refusing to be a passive participant in a system designed to keep you distracted and dependent. Unplugging sends a powerful message. Your time, your focus, and your peace are worth protecting. From status symbol to soul symbol, the new luxury. Luxury used to mean having more possessions, more power, more access. But in today's world, true luxury is about needing less. It's about creating space to think, feel, and simply be. Offline time has become a new kind of status symbol, not because it's exclusive or expensive, but because it's rare. In this context, luxury transforms from material wealth into soul wealth. It's the richness of undistracted moments, deep conversations, and mental clarity. It's about quality, not quantity. The luxury of silence and presence is priceless. Case study. Executives and celebrities embracing simplicity. Some of the world's busiest people are leading the way in this quiet revolution. Executives who manage multi-million-dollar companies are turning off notifications and retreating from digital chaos. Celebrities have started embracing dumb phones, simple devices that limit distractions, and scheduling no-phone retreats to recharge their minds. These examples highlight a growing awareness. Unplugging is not a sign of weakness or escapism, but a strategic move to protect mental health and creativity. If the most connected people on the planet can choose to disconnect, so can you. Social proof? Digital detox trends in Silicon Valley and Gen Z. Silicon Valley, the heart of tech innovation, is ironically also where digital detox is gaining serious traction. Tech leaders and employees alike are seeking balance through device-free meetings, screen-free zones, and company-wide digital detox challenges. Meanwhile, Gen Z, the first generation to grow up fully immersed in technology, is driving a new movement. Many young people are experimenting with phone fasts, deleting social apps, and valuing real-world experiences over virtual likes. This social proof shows that unplugging isn't just a fad, it's becoming a cultural shift, reframing the narrative. Offline is empowerment, not inconvenience. The biggest barrier to going offline is the belief that it's inconvenient or even impossible. But this mindset misses the point. Offline isn't about losing something. It's about gaining control. Choosing to unplug empowers you to decide when and how you engage with technology, rather than being at its mercy. It's about reclaiming your attention, prioritizing what matters, and living intentionally. When you see offline as empowerment instead of sacrifice, it changes everything. In a society built on non-stop digital connection, stepping away is no longer just self-care, it's resistance. It's a bold choice to protect your inner world amid the noise. The next chapters will help you take this resistance from idea to action, showing you how to build a sustainable offline practice that nourishes your mind and soul. Chapter 5. Your brain on digital detox. Our brains are remarkably adaptable. Thanks to a quality called neuroplasticity, they can change, grow, and even heal based on how we use them. When it comes to digital overload, this means that stepping away from screens doesn't just give your eyes a break, it helps your brain recover, refocus, and reset. Neuroplasticity and brain recovery. Restoring focus. Constant digital stimulation fragments our attention, making it harder to concentrate deeply or think clearly. But the good news is that the brain's wiring isn't fixed. When you unplug, you allow your neural pathways to recalibrate. Over time, your ability to focus sharpens, distractions lose their grip, and you regain control over your attention. Studies show that after periods of reduced screen time, people experience improved memory, better problem-solving skills, and longer attention spans. Your brain literally rewires itself toward clarity when you give it the space to do so. The science of silence and solitude. Silence isn't empty, it's filled with possibilities. Neuroscience has found that quiet moments activate the brain's default mode network, a system involved in self-reflection, creativity, and emotional processing. Without the constant noise of digital input, your mind can wander productively, make new connections, and even heal from stress. Solitude, time spent alone without distractions, is equally vital. It's in these moments that you deepen your understanding of yourself and your environment. In contrast to isolation, healthy solitude offers restorative peace and helps strengthen emotional resilience without a screen. The power of intentional presence. Mindfulness, the practice of paying full attention to the present moment, often relies on technology, apps, guided meditations, or timers. But mindfulness doesn't need a screen. Intentionally unplugging and tuning into your breath, sensations, or surroundings cultivates awareness without digital interference. This form of mindfulness helps break habitual, automatic behaviors like reaching for your phone whenever boredom strikes. It trains your brain to tolerate stillness, notice subtle details, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Meditation, nature, and reading. Reclaiming mental space. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to nurture your brain during a digital detox. Even short daily sessions calm the nervous system, reduce anxiety, and enhance concentration. Without the pull of notifications, meditation deepens, helping you settle into true presence. Nature offers a powerful antidote to digital overstimulation. Time outdoors reduces cortisol levels, improves mood, and invites your brain to shift from hyper-alertness to restful awareness. Listening to birds, feeling the wind, or simply observing trees creates a natural mindfulness practice that recharges your mental batteries. Reading, too, reclaims mental space in a way screens rarely do. Whether it's a novel, poetry, or nonfiction, reading slows down your cognitive processes and invites deep engagement. Unlike scrolling, which fragments attention, reading builds sustained focus and imagination. A personal testimony, rediscovering boredom and peace. After 7 days offline, I had a surprising revelation. I remembered what boredom and peace felt like. Without the constant stimulation of my phone, my mind slowed down. At first, the silence was uncomfortable. I felt restless, unsure what to do with all the free mental space. But soon, that restlessness faded. I found myself daydreaming again, noticing small details around me and appreciating moments that previously went unnoticed. My anxiety diminished, and for the first time in a long while, I experienced a calm that wasn't forced or fleeting. It was genuine. That week reminded me that peace isn't about filling every moment with noise or activity. It's about making space for the mind to breathe, rest, and create. Unplugging is not deprivation, it's nourishment. By giving your brain a break from digital overload, you invite healing, growth, and renewed focus. The silence, solitude, and intentional presence you cultivate offline become powerful tools to reclaim your mental clarity and emotional balance. And as you practice these habits, you'll find that your mind isn't just quieter, it's stronger, sharper, and more alive. Chapter 6. Reclaiming time, space, and energy. One of the most surprising discoveries on a digital detox journey is just how much time slips away unnoticed. When your attention is pulled by endless notifications, social media, emails, and streaming, hours evaporate before you even realize it. Reclaiming that lost time, mental space, and energy is the foundation for living more fully offline. Time audit. How many hours a day are lost to scrolling? Before you can make any real change, it helps to know the starting point. Try a simple time audit. For a few days, track how many hours you spend on your phone, tablet, or computer, not for work or essential tasks, but scrolling feeds, watching videos, or just checking mindlessly. Many people are shocked to discover that they lose 3, 4, or even more hours a day to passive digital consumption. That's time you could spend resting, connecting with others, creating, or simply being present. Awareness is the first step to change. Decluttering digital life, phone apps, tabs, emails, streaming. Digital clutter is just as draining as physical. Clutter. Multiple open tabs, a chaotic email inbox, and a phone crowded with unnecessary apps create invisible noise that steals focus and drains energy. Start by deleting apps you rarely use. Unsubscribe from email lists that don't add value. Close browser tabs you opened just to check later. Simplifying your digital environment reduces overwhelm and makes it easier to be intentional with your time online. Streaming platforms, with their endless autoplay and recommendations, are especially sneaky. Setting limits or taking breaks from binge watching frees up hours and gives your mind a much-needed rest. The minimalist phone home screen technique. Your phone's home screen is your digital front door. It sets the tone for how you use your device. One practical technique is to adopt a minimalist home screen. Keep only essential apps visible: calls, messaging, calendar, and maybe a few productivity tools. Move social media, games, and entertainment apps into folders or off the main screen entirely. Some even use just one home screen, blank and free of distractions. This simple step reduces the temptation to open apps out of habit and helps you consciously choose when and how to engage with your phone. Declaring sacred offline spaces. Bedroom, dinner table, bathrooms, outdoors. Another powerful way to reclaim space is to create sacred offline zones in your home and daily routine. These are places and times where technology is not allowed. The bedroom is a prime candidate. Keeping phones and laptops out reduces blue light exposure and improves sleep quality. The dinner table is another sacred zone. When phones stay away, conversations deepen, and family connections strengthen. Bathrooms and outdoor spaces can also become tech-free sanctuaries, a chance to reconnect with your senses and the natural world without distractions. By protecting these spaces, you send a clear message to yourself and those around you that presence matters more than screens. Emotional benefits: reduced anxiety, increased clarity. As you reclaim your time and create these boundaries, you'll likely notice emotional shifts. Without the constant barrage of notifications and digital noise, anxiety tends to decrease. The mental clutter that fuels overwhelm and stress clears away. Many people report a new sense of clarity. Thoughts feel less jumbled, decisions become easier, and creativity flows more freely. You'll find more emotional energy to invest in meaningful relationships and activities that nourish your soul. Reclaiming time, space, and energy isn't about perfection or rigid rules. It's about making small, intentional choices that align with your well-being. Whether it's tracking your screen time, simplifying your digital environment, or protecting sacred offline moments, these steps add up to a richer, more grounded life. As you begin to own your time and attention, you'll discover that the real luxury isn't having more gadgets or faster Wi-Fi. It's having the freedom to live fully awake and connected to what truly matters. Chapter 7. Offline. Practices for everyday life. Going offline doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing leap into the unknown. The beauty of a digital detox is that it can fit into your life in small, manageable ways. Whether you have 5 minutes or 5 days, there are practical steps you can take to unplug, recharge, and rediscover the joy of presence. Practical detox. Plans from 1 hour to 30 days. Starting small often makes the biggest difference. You might begin with a simple 1-hour detox. No screens, no notifications, just time for yourself. Maybe during that hour, you enjoy a walk, read a book, or have a face-to-face conversation. If you want to dive deeper, try a full day offline. Use that time to reconnect with nature, meet friends in person, or simply rest. Weekend detoxes are even better, a chance to hit pause on the digital world and reset before the busy week begins. For the truly committed, 30-day challenges can be transformative. Many people report clearer minds, better sleep, and improved relationships after a month of intentional offline time. Whatever plan you choose, the key is consistency and kindness toward yourself. Creating tech-free rituals, morning routines, and night detox. Rituals anchor us. Creating tech-free moments at the start and end of your day sets a powerful tone. Instead of reaching for your phone the moment you wake up, try a morning routine that includes stretching, journaling, or sipping tea in silence. This grounds you in the present before the digital world pulls you in. At night, establish a digital sunset. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed. Replace scrolling with calming activities like reading a physical book or practicing gentle meditation. This ritual signals to your brain it's time to unwind, improving sleep quality and helping you wake refreshed. Introducing analog joy. Journaling, painting, walking, letter writing. When you unplug, you create space to rediscover analog joy simple, tactile activities that engage your senses and creativity. Journaling, for example, helps you process thoughts and emotions away from the glare of a screen. Painting or drawing invites self-expression without pressure or judgment. Walking, without headphones or a phone, connects you to your surroundings and lets your mind wander freely. Writing letters to friends or family is a beautiful, intentional way to nurture relationships, slowing down communication and adding meaning. These practices bring a sense of fulfillment that digital distractions rarely match. Social detox. Setting boundaries on social media. Social media can be one of the hardest habits to break, but setting boundaries can protect your mental space. Start by unfollowing accounts that don't uplift or inspire you. Limit your daily social media use with timers or app blockers. Consider designated no social media times during your day, like meal times or the first hour after waking. Be honest with friends and family about your intentions. Many will support your choice and even join you. Remember, a social detox isn't about isolation. It's about reclaiming your attention so you can connect more deeply and authentically when you do engage. Recommended tools: screen time apps, dumb phones, grayscale mode. Technology can also help you unplug. Screen time apps built into smartphones track your usage and allow you to set limits on apps or categories. Use these tools to raise awareness and reduce mindless scrolling. Some people find that switching their phone to grayscale, black and white mode, reduces the visual appeal of apps designed to hook you. It's a simple hack that dulls the dopamine effect. For a more radical approach, dumb phones or basic. Feature phones offer calling and texting without the distractions of apps and social media. Many users report feeling calmer and more present with these devices. Incorporating offline practices into everyday life doesn't require drastic measures. Whether it's a brief tech-free hour, a morning ritual, or embracing analog activities, these habits create pockets of peace and presence. Over time, these moments add up, helping you break free from digital overwhelm and rediscover what makes life rich and meaningful. Chapter 8. Navigating Pushback and Digital FOMO. Choosing to unplug in a world that never stops buzzing can feel like swimming against the current. When you decide to take control of your digital life, you might face resistance from friends, family, and even your workplace. Navigating these challenges is part of making your digital detox sustainable and empowering. Facing resistance. Friends, family, work expectations. Not everyone will understand why you want to disconnect. Friends might worry you're ignoring them. Family members could see your unplugging as a rejection or lack of interest. At work, the pressure to be instantly reachable can be intense. Emails, messages, and last-minute calls seem unavoidable. This resistance isn't always intentional. Often, it reflects how much our culture values constant availability. But it can create tension, guilt, or doubts about your choice to unplug. Strategies for communicating your digital detox goals. Clear communication is your strongest tool. Share your intentions openly with those around you. Explain that your goal isn't to shut people out, but to create healthy boundaries so you can be more present and engaged when you are connected. Set expectations upfront about when and how you'll be reachable. For example, you might say, "I'm limiting my phone use during evenings, but will respond to urgent messages within a few hours." Being honest helps others adjust and reduces misunderstandings. Invite friends and family to join you in unplugged moments. It can become a shared experience rather than a solitary challenge. But I need my phone for work. Tackling myths and boundaries. One of the most common excuses for staying glued to screens is work. It's true that many jobs require digital communication, but being always on doesn't equal being productive. Set specific work hours for checking emails and messages, and resist the temptation to respond instantly outside those times. Use tools like Do Not Disturb mode or separate devices to create clear boundaries. Remember, sustainable productivity comes from focus and rest, not from constant availability. Your phone should serve your work, not the other way around. Practicing JOMO, joy of missing out. In a culture obsessed with FOMO, the fear of missing out, practicing JOMO can be liberating. JOMO is the joy of missing out, celebrating the freedom that comes with choosing what not to engage in. When you embrace JOMO, you stop chasing every event, update, or notification. Instead, you focus on what truly matters to you, whether it's quality time with loved ones, creative projects, or simply peace of mind. This mindset shift transforms unplugging from a loss into a gain. Redefining value. Being present greater than being available. Perhaps the most powerful lesson of digital detox is rethinking what it means to be valuable. In a hyper-connected world, we often equate worth with availability, how quickly we respond, how often we check in. But real value lies in presence, being fully engaged, attentive, and authentic. When you're present, your relationships deepen, your work improves, and your well-being flourishes. Choosing presence over availability is a radical act of self-care and respect for yourself and those around you. Chapter 9. Building an offline lifestyle. Digital detox isn't a one-time event or a trendy challenge. It's a lifestyle choice. Like any habit worth cultivating, it requires ongoing attention and care. Building an offline lifestyle means integrating digital hygiene into your everyday life so that unplugging becomes natural, sustainable, and deeply nourishing. Digital hygiene as a lifestyle, not a one-time fix. Just as we brush our teeth daily to maintain oral health, digital hygiene is about consistently managing your relationship with technology. It's not about a quick detox and then back to old habits. Instead, it's making small, intentional choices every day, checking in with how your devices serve you, setting boundaries, and carving out regular screen-free time. This ongoing practice reduces overwhelm and helps prevent digital burnout. The goal is balance, not perfection. Designing your environment, unplugged weekends, and no Wi-Fi corners. Your physical environment shapes your behavior more than you might realize. Designing spaces that encourage offline living can make unplugging easier and more inviting. Try instituting unplugged weekends, periods where you commit to staying off screens as much as possible. Use this time to reconnect with hobbies, friends, or nature. Create no Wi-Fi corners in your home, places where devices aren't allowed, such as the dining room or a cozy reading nook. These tech-free zones act as sanctuaries for presence and calm, making it easier to step away from screens without feeling deprived. Building communities that support offline connection. Humans are social creatures, and building offline community is a powerful antidote to digital saturation. Joining or starting a book club, nature meet, or tech-free cafe gathering creates spaces where real conversation and connection flourish. These communities encourage accountability, shared experiences, and the kind of deep engagement that screens often interrupt. Plus, they remind us that we don't have to navigate the digital world alone. There's strength in numbers. Offline parenting. Raising kids with digital awareness. Raising children in a digital age comes with unique challenges. Offline parenting means guiding kids to develop healthy relationships with technology, modeling balance, setting clear limits, and encouraging screen-free play and creativity. It also means teaching digital literacy and awareness so they can make mindful choices as they grow. This isn't about banning technology, but about helping children become confident, intentional users rather than passive consumers. Offline doesn't mean anti-tech, it means intentional tech use. Finally, it's important to reframe what offline living really means. It's not about rejecting technology altogether, That's neither realistic nor necessary. Instead, it's about intentional tech use, choosing when, how, and why to engage with digital tools. Technology can be a powerful ally when used mindfully, to learn, create, and connect meaningfully. Offline living is about reclaiming control so that technology enhances life rather than dominates it. Building an offline lifestyle takes time and patience, but it's one of the most rewarding investments you can make in your well-being. By weaving digital hygiene into daily habits, designing your environment, fostering supportive communities, and parenting with awareness, you create a life where presence and technology coexist harmoniously. Chapter 10. The Luxury of Being Present. In a world obsessed with gold, gadgets, and endless consumption, true luxury has quietly slipped away from our grasp. It's not found in material possessions or the latest tech. It's found in presence. The luxury of being fully here now, with ourselves and others, is the rarest gift we can give and receive. Slowness, depth, and attention, rare commodities. The pace of modern life rushes past us in a blur of notifications, meetings, and multitasking. Slowness, taking the time to savor a moment, is scarce. Depth, the kind of focus that allows us to really see and understand, feels like a luxury. Attention, the simple act of truly listening or observing, has become a precious commodity. These are the things that nurture our souls. When we slow down and pay attention, we open ourselves to connection, creativity, and meaning. A story of reconnection. A mother and her child. I recall a mother who took a 30-day digital detox, deciding to unplug completely to reclaim her relationship with her family. One evening, after weeks without screens pulling her attention away, she looked into her child's eyes and truly saw them for the first time in months. That gaze wasn't just about the child, it was about the mother's presence, undivided and deep. The moment wasn't grand or staged. It was quiet and simple, but profound. She felt a renewed love and connection that no amount of screen time could replace. Gratitude, stillness, and wonder in the mundane. Presence brings gratitude. When we're truly present, even the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of rain against the window, the softness of a loved one's voice, all these moments invite wonder. Stillness, often uncomfortable, at first becomes a sacred space where we recharge and reflect. In those quiet pauses, we find ourselves again. Final reflection. In a world that screams, silence is sacred. The world around us is loud, filled with demands, distractions, and endless chatter. Choosing to step away from the noise is an act of radical self-care and resistance. Silence isn't emptiness. It's sacred. The luxury of being present isn't about perfection or escaping life's challenges. It's about embracing life as it is, fully awake and aware. It's about finding richness in simplicity and connection in quiet. As you close this book, remember, offline is not a limitation, it's a doorway. A doorway to reclaim your time, your mind, and your heart. In this digital age, presence is the new luxury, and it's yours to choose every day. Conclusion. The new status symbol. Digital detox isn't about rejecting the future or shunning technology. It's about reclaiming what technology has quietly taken from us. Our time, our attention, and our joy. It's a gentle but powerful reminder that we don't have to be slaves to screens or algorithms. Instead, we can choose to live with intention, balance, and clarity. Offline is the new luxury because it returns to us what truly matters: presence, peace, and purpose. It's about being fully here, awake to the people around us, attuned to our own thoughts, and engaged in life's simple, meaningful moments. This luxury isn't about having more. It's about needing less and savoring what's already right in front of us. The journey toward digital Detox doesn't require perfection or drastic upheaval. It starts with small, mindful steps, turning off notifications, carving out screen-free time, creating sacred spaces, and embracing the quiet. Each choice chips away at distraction and builds a life grounded in what matters most. So today, make a choice. Begin your own detox journey, no matter how small the first step. Turn off the noise, tune into your inner world, and live freely in the space between digital interruptions. Notice the calm that follows, the deeper connections that form, and the clarity that grows. In a world ruled by algorithms, where our attention is constantly bought and sold, choosing to be human, present, mindful, and connected is the boldest luxury of all. This is the freedom waiting on the other side of going offline, and it's yours to claim. Thanks for joining us in ReadRealm, where every book finds a voice. If you enjoyed this audiobook, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new upload. Got a book in mind? Drop it in the comments. You're next. Favorite listen could be our next upload. Until then, keep your mind open and your headphones on.